there are image things on Kimbo, and I'll ask you as a fellow African American, were you comfortable with the way either he's selling himself or the way he is portrayed?
Well, you know what a lot of people don't know about Kimbo, and this is to the best of my knowledge concerning Kimbo, which is also third-party information, so I could possibly be at error. But the way that I heard it and understand it is that Kimbo is actually a college graduate. I heard that he played football for Florida. I heard that he's married with children.
Right.
And so, you know, the image that they portray of him, whoever's doing it, the media, promotion companies or whatever, they're portraying him as this, you know, this big, you know, hip-hopped out, you know, thug or whatever. But I don't think that Kimbo portrays himself like that, because every opportunity that he gets, when I've heard him speak, you know, on a television or whatever, he sounds like an intelligent individual. He articulates well. You know, I've never seen him out of character.
Right.
You know, it's not him blowing himself up. You know, it's other people blowing him up. You know, so I like Kimbo, man. I like Kimbo.
Well, I'll tell you, he's turned his life around. He did a great job promoting the event. He is a smart cookie. The one disturbing thing that came out this week, though, was stories about his crew kind of acting like jerks after the event. And it kind of goes to, we talk about this in sports radio all the time, the NBA. And sometimes guys have difficulty leaving maybe some of their bad character guys away. And that was one of the things that came out afterwards. And that is important for the sport, I think, to make sure that, you know, if it's not you embarrassing, make sure no one else is embarrassing the sport or yourself.
You know what, I have to agree with that, man. But another thing that we have to also keep in mind is that the most powerful force on the face of the planet Earth is love. It's not hate. It's not anything negative. Love, and I'll tell you why I say love. What would cause a 2-year-old to attack someone if he sees his parents getting hurt or attacked? You know what would cause them to attack that person? It's not how much they hate the other person, but how much they love their parents. And sometimes us as professionals, we have zealots, if you will, that are inside of our camps that maybe some people, we didn't even know that they had that in them, that ability to act like that. But because they love this person so much, you know what I'm saying, it just hurts them, and that they find a way to act out. You know, all of us have been guilty at one point in time or another of not being better than we could possibly be, you know, including myself. So, you know, what I have to say about that, about his company, yeah, you know, we should watch the company that we keep, but at the same time, Kimbo is Kimbo, and whoever was putting on the show was whoever that was.
So we're getting ready for the Night of Combat. It's Cofield out here in Vegas, and we're talking to John Alessio, who's on the card, and we wanted to get his take on a few big issues around mixed martial arts. First of all, the hot topic of the week has been Kimbo Slice. Good or bad, I'm not really sure, but it's been getting a lot of mainstream media coverage. So what do you think?
You know, well, first of all, I want to say when Ken Shamrock pulled out and, you know, here the fight's off, and we're like, wow, you know, what's going to happen? You know, what are they going to do? And then when I heard Seth Petrozelli stepped up for the fight, I know Seth. I've known him since back in the King of the Cage days. First thing that came out of my mouth was, oh, shit, Kimbo's in trouble. I mean, never in a million years did I think it was going to happen that fast, of course. But I mean, I told all my friends, I was like, fuck, man, if I had time to go down, sorry about the cursing, if I had time to go down to the casino, I'd put money on Seth right now. I mean, he was like 400 plus 400 or whatever it was, minus 400.
Just so people know, because I did the same thing, they booked it really quickly in town. It was plus 220, because they actually cut the odds almost in half, because the local books knew that this guy has a better shot than Shamrock. Offshore, though, it was actually plus 550. On Seth Petrozelli, so you could have made 5.5 to 1.
Man, I wish I would have got my money in, but I knew it was a dangerous fight. I knew that, you know, that was smart for Seth to step up, because he probably knew, like, hey, this is my chance right here. Like, that's instant, you know, superstardom right there. And so I was really happy for Seth. You know, Kimbo's a nice guy. I've met him before. He's came and trained at our gym, and you know, I like him and everything, but I just knew that Seth would be too much for him. Just too well-rounded, too much experience.
When Kimbo came to the gym, like, what are the signs that he just wasn't ready for that level of fighter?
Yeah, you know, he's just really green on the ground, and his stand-up's still pretty raw. But he definitely has that power where he can put you to sleep. So you don't really want to stand and trade, like, right in front of him. You want to be smart on your feet when you fight him. And I knew Seth would, you know, he wasn't going to go right at him and fight a stupid stand-up fight. He was going to fight the way he fights and should fight.
So did Elite XC make a mistake using him to build two of their promotions? Did they get a positive out of it? Is MMA having a bad week because the guy got destroyed by, you know, a fill-in?
Well, first I want to say that I think Elite XC probably shouldn't have put their whole promotion on a street fighter. That's just my take. I'm just a fighter. But if I was promoting, I think Kimbo would be my first fight on TV. build the guy up. You're putting a lot of pressure and a lot of money, into a guy that, what has he done? Honestly, what has he done and who has he fought? Bo Cantrell and these other opponents, they really got no business. They're not at that level, and they're padding his record, and that's cool, but nowhere is Kimbo a main event guy. Yes, he's got the internet following and all that, but still, put him on the first fight on TV. Build him up. Make him earn his right like everybody else had to earn their right.
The other news of the week that comes out, and Petrozelli actually said it himself, he's retracted it now, was that he got suggestions behind the scenes to fight a certain way. Is that believable? Do you think it happened? Have you seen it happen or heard of it happening at other cards?
I wasn't there, so I don't honestly know what happened. Does it surprise me? Not really. There's been times before where promoters, they like stand-up fighters. They want to see the knockout because that's what they think the fans want to see. I'm not too surprised that if they would have said, hey, we'll give you a little bonus if you stand up and fight. But at the same time, they're a professional show, so I don't know if they would, because the athletic commission, if they get involved and they find that out, that's a big deal, and that's a lawsuit waiting to happen from the commission. So Elite XC, I think, is smart enough to not say that. But I definitely agree that they paid him more to take the fight with Kimbo, and that's totally understandable. If they asked me to step up for a main event on a day's notice, I'd be show me the money,
Yeah.
So, that part is totally understandable.